Yo, what's going on, everybody? So it's finally time for me to take care of this headlight. I've kind of had enough of it condensating up and getting all that moisture in there. Right now it's really not that bad, but lately it's been getting to a point where the whole thing's been getting covered in condensation. It's been raining a lot lately, so wherever it's leaking, it's definitely getting inside. You can even see some watermarks and stuff right there where it's dried up a little bit. And then down at the bottom, I don't know if y'all can see it, but there's definitely some moisture in there. You can see it. For anybody that has a 14 to 15 Silverado, if you've ever been interested in taking your headlights out, replacing them, or you need to get to the grill or whatever, I'm gonna walk through a couple of those things. Really, to access the grill and the lights, you're gonna need a pry tool. You're gonna need a 10 mil, a 7 mil, some wrenches, maybe some extensions, and if you're lowered, you're most likely going to need a jack and a jack stand. First things first, I'm going to have to take off this cover right here to access the bolts to the grill, and so the grill has to come off in order to get to the bolts of the headlight, and so does this bumper pad here. That bumper pad is held on by two 7mm screws. There's one right here, and then there's one slightly, I don't know if you guys can see that, but there's one right there underneath as well. Yeah, so you pop out that bumper pad to get to the bottom 4 bolts that are holding in the grill as well. There's 4 bolts up top and 4 bolts on bottom. You can get to the grill kind of without taking the bumper pad off. If you have like a ratcheting wrench, you can reach them, a 10 mil from behind, but basically this bumper pad needs to come off anyway. So just gonna go ahead and get that taken care of. So yeah, and let's get started. Alright, so those of you that don't know how to pop these tabs out real quick, they're pretty simple. So basically, I don't know if y'all can see this little dip in right here on the plastic tab. You stick the pry tool in between this and then the top piece, and you just kind of wiggle it up, and then it pops out like that. And then when you're ready to put them back in, put them in like this, and then push the tab down. They lock back in place. Most of the time they're pretty fragile, so sometimes you have to be careful not to break them. If not, you can pick them up at your parts store, anywhere, O'Reilly's, AutoZone, anything like that. They carry them there. I don't know, in like a couple pack, or you can buy them on Amazon or whatever. Alright, so I did remove all the tabs. So once you remove all the tabs, it's really simple. This literally just picks up, and you can take it off, and then you start to have some access to some things. So you do have 2 of the bolts to the headlight right here. You have 2 up here, and then you have 2 on the bottom, but these are what I need to get to first. The 4 up top to get out to pop out the grill, to access the other bolts that are down there and get this bumper pad off. Alright, and so for those of you that want to know the location of the screws, so like I said, there is a 7 mil right here, and it's the same thing on the other side, and then there's one up here. When my truck got tubbed, basically they cut this panel out and whatnot, and so really I don't need this screw here, but it is what it is, and it's there. So yeah, anyways, so they're super simple. Put the 7 mil on there, start backing it out. Alright, so once you get the 7 mil out back here, and then the one underneath, basically you just kind of got to pop these out. For some people they're pretty hard to come out, but these have been on and off my truck so many times already from wrapping it that it comes out pretty easy. But so anyways, once you get these out, right, you get them out on both sides. As you can tell, it's not moving in the center. It doesn't want to come out, so that's when you have to get underneath the truck and kind of help release it. I'll jack the truck up right now, push out the little tabs that they kind of like help to lock into place, and then you can get the bumper pad off. Or maybe I'll be lucky. So these tabs are what lock in down here. So I actually don't have to get underneath the truck, thankfully. Yeah, so they lock into these little deals on the grill. Usually you just kind of get underneath and you kind of pull them down. If you have an extra person, you can have them kind of wiggle it for you to get it out. And basically you just go from there. So now that I have access to all the grill bolts, the 4 are in these spots right here. They're in the corner. There's one in the corner, one right there in the center, another one in the center. You can see those. And then one right here in the corner again. And then the 4 up top. So now we got all 8 bolts out. This literally just wiggles off. It has some little locking tabs that kind of hold it in place. Just careful not to scratch anything on your truck when you're taking them off, but see, it just comes off like so. Really nothing to it. If you're doing a 16 to 18, it's a tad bit different, so there's no bolts on the bottom. It's just the 4 bolts up top, and then I don't know, it's kind of set up for it too if you were to get it, but they have these tabs or whatever that lock into place that you kind of got to pop off. It's a little bit more aggressive to take it off, but anyways, it's borderline the same thing, minus the 4 bolts on the bottom. Alright, so now that you have access to the grill, access to the rest of the lights, like I said, it's 4 bolts. You have one here, you have one here, and then you have one right here, and and one right here. Really, that's it. Once you do the 4 bolts, there's a wiring harness on the back that you just unplug. For mine, it's a little bit different because I do have, like, these are aftermarket headlights, and so they have like the LED strip and a little RGB harness that is hidden over there on the left side of the truck, or right side, I guess, depending on which way you're looking at it. But yeah, so anyways, you do the 4 bolts, pop it off, disconnect that stuff, and then you can swap out your headlights. So for me, my next step, like I said, do the bolts. So for me, the next step, once I get the bolts out, then I'll disconnect what I need to disconnect, and then I can get started on hopefully tending to this light and fixing this issue. Alright, so this is where the 10 mil swivel would come in handy, if you do have one, because you have this bracket right here that's kind of in the way. If you had a smaller socket and wrench, you could fit it in there probably. Or just a regular wrench. So really, for everybody else, if you're just removing your regular headlights, it's just this. You have to push the little tab on the back, pop it out. For me, I had to remove the little cord that attaches to power my LED strips and RGB and the switchback and all that other stuff. Pretty easy setup though, which is cool. Primo Dynamic got that dialed in pretty well. You don't have to wire anything in too crazy. You have to tap in the turn signal, and then there's a green wire that I guess is the ground. I didn't install them. I paid somebody to install them. When it comes to electrical, I'd rather not mess with it. But yeah. Anyway, so you tap that in wherever it needed to be tapped in, close it up for me, and such. So yeah, now let's see what I gotta do to get this open. Alright guys, so I took the caps off. I don't know if y'all can see, but there's quite a bit of water inside the light. I went ahead and put a towel down. I don't really think I have enough access room to try to dry it out. I mean, I could leave it in the sun for a little bit and stuff once I dump it out, but I'm not too sure that's really going to do anything. So I'm thinking I'm going to have to open up the headlight. So alright, so I didn't really want to have to open it, and I think for the most part I'm pretty good. So what I ended up doing, which you kind of saw in the last little clip, was I just kind of opened it up and tried to dump some of the water out. There was obviously still residual, so the buddy of mine that installed them, he was like, just put them outside with the caps off, backside up or whatever, and see what happens if the water evaporates. So I did that, and then to kind of help, because of course the one day it's not 1,000 degrees outside, it's kind of cool. It's not cool, but it's not like extremely hot outside. I put the heat gun on a low temp, and I just kind of in the back, like with the caps off, just kind of heated it in the back to help like create, obviously create heat. And so I think for the most part it evaporated. Like I said, I already had these little like inside water stains, which you can kind of see. I really wish I would have been able to get those out, but there's really not much I can do about that unless I decide to open it up and clean it from the inside. But other than that, I mean, there was quite a bit of water. When I opened up the caps and I dumped it out, there was the water sitting all in the bottom like this once I tilted the light. I had a lot of moisture in here. In some of these recesses there was a lot of water sitting in there, and then there was a big old moisture line right here. That all seemed to have gone away, which was cool. So I was kind of uncomfortable about breaking open the light. I really don't want to damage any of this stuff. And then I was, you know, what I had seen online was that you had to pop this off, and there's like adhesive tape behind this once you get the tabs off, whatever. I really wasn't trying to go that far into it if I didn't have to. So thankfully I think I got all the water out. So now what I'm gonna do is put the sealant or whatever else of stuff I bought, and I'm gonna go around all the top again and the sides, excuse me, sorry, and go over the sides and whatnot, let that cure. And just to be safe, even though the passenger side light hasn't been messing up or anything, there was no moisture in there, it's been pretty good. I'm still gonna run some on here while I have the grill off and I can access this a little bit better. So yeah, I'm going to go get that RTV or whatever sealant. I got a buddy of mine, a different buddy of mine, he had told me he was like, get some windshield sealant. And so I got some of that, and then I just got some black rubber all-purpose sealant. So yeah, I'm gonna get that, and then we'll get that going. To anybody that cares to know what I bought some of this stuff. Flowable silicone windshield glass sealer, clear, waterproof, whatever. Even on the back it says for taillight assemblies, so I mean, I figured it'd do what I needed to do. And then I had bought some of this. The only thing that I guess I didn't really know if it was going to work or not was that it's non-hardening. I don't really think it has to be hardening, because if you look at the sealant that's already on the light, it's already kind of soft. Because I think they use Prima uses butyl, the 4M butyl tape or whatever. Anyways, so yeah, so that's what I'm gonna seal up the white with, and then yeah, put everything back together once this dries. Alright. So I hit it pretty heavy with the sealant. I went ahead and went all the way around the light. Let me show you that. You probably can't see it. Anyways, yeah, so I went pretty heavy. Even all the little things, like, I mean, there's no, I don't think there's any entry into the light from these little things, these little guide tabs. I just went ahead and put it in there just in case. So it is pretty humid in the garage right now and stuff, and I'm not seeing any moisture buildup. I really don't know if it's making a difference or not that I got everything out. So hopefully, well, from the looks of it, that I got everything out. So we'll see what's up with that. I'm gonna go ahead and put these back onto the truck and make sure my lights turn back on, and we should be good to go. And with that, everything's put back together. I kind of felt like it was a little pointless to record me putting everything back together. It's the same steps, just in reverse, you know. Re-screw the bumper pad. You put the grill on first after you bolt the light back. Put the grill on first, then set the bumper pad. Put the 7 mils back in the corners for those, and then put the covering up top, and then push all the push tabs back in. But yeah, so just wanted to make sure my lights still work. They're good. I already checked the headlights, the high beams, everything was fine. But yeah, so hopefully that fixes my issue. I really like these lights. Hopefully that fixes my issue, you know, so I can not be rolling around with foggy ass headlights, because that shit's annoying. I really don't like the way that looks. So that being said, yeah, I guess that's it. Like, if they decide that they're gonna condensate and fill back up with water again, then we'll have another video of me actually disassembling the whole headlight. So thanks for watching, guys.